After my episode on kids or no kids, I ended up watching some documentaries. Chernobyl, January 6th. Yeah, I know, off topic, but stay with me. Then I stumbled on the Ruby Frankie, Jodie Hildebrand series, and suddenly it clicked. Child exploitation on the internet isn't niche, it's an industry. Here's the ugly truth. Those little moments you think are just family memories, they're not in your kid's diary. They're live streamed, monetized, and achieved forever. Every meltdown, every poop accident, every forced smile becomes eternal content, complete with ads, sponsorships, and product placement. Congratulations, your child is now a walking billboard. Analytics track more than memories. They track your trauma, engagement rates, watch time, click-throughs, not cute moments, data points. And don't even get me started on my own life. The birth of my child, Hardware II, sponsored by Subway and the Jared Fogle Foundation. That's what happens when you mix innocence with capitalism. Family content, that's just a polite term for I made my child the product because it's easier to get clicks and likes than to grow a succulent. You vlog their breakfast, you narrate how they wipe themselves, you post their tantrums, and somehow it's sharing your life instead of exploitation. The audience doesn't care, it craves performance, and kids perform because they have no choice. The best part? It's mostly legal. At worst, you sign a contract. At best, you get a brand deal. The more extreme the moment, the bigger the payday. Tears, accidents, emotional breakdowns. They all monetize beautifully. The internet has turned parenting into a competition. In future episodes, I might take this outside the living room, do some interviews, maybe call it me and my daycare bro, because honestly, if it's online, why not exploit the neighborhood too, and the children who live in it? Child labor with likes is still child labor, no matter what label you put on. Welcome to the Artcast, where my opinion is needed about as much as a convicted sex predator running the local high school. I'm just here hoping to make someone smile, maybe get someone to agree with me, and if you feel like leaving a like or hitting subscribe, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Child exploitation and family channels. Those perfect little slices of domestic bliss that somehow always involve trauma for clicks. The ones I know, Daddy05, shut down thankfully, but it's impossible not to mention the chaos they made into a show. Kids treated like props, drama monetized, a cautionary tale. 8 passengers? Everyone thought it was wholesome until, well, let's just say nobody saw the end coming the way it did. Daughtery Dozen, a literal soccer team of children, every day served with a side of diabetes, school neglect, and more content than any child should endure. That are just a few, and these channels aren't just content, they are industries of exploitation. Every meltdown, every tantrum, every cute moment is monetized, analyzed, and achieved forever. Childhood isn't private anymore, it's an algorithmic cash cow. So let's break this down step by step. First, content you post online. When you're an adult, sharing things online is a choice. I do it on my channel. I hit that upload button because I want to. Whether you care or not, that's on you. I thank you for watching my bullshit, but I understand the consequences. I consent to putting my own stuff out there. Now contrast that with kids. They don't choose. They don't consent. They cannot consent. The same with my cats. Before I mentioned them online, I made them sign a contract. They don't care because they don't care about me, as long as they get fed, petted when they want, and not disturbed while they poop. They're happy. And yes, they have signed a NDA. So here's the point. Adults can choose, children cannot. Uploading a meltdown, an accident, or a tantrum is not just content, it's taking someone else's life and turning it into analytics. And the cat? Well, at least the cat knew what it was signing up for. When you have a child or children, you become their consent. You are responsible for them. You are responsible for everything, you share online. Kids don't understand the gravity of this. They don't understand privacy. They don't know what the internet even is, let alone how massive an iceberg of exposure they're walking onto. This is not a family-only video that you show off when they bring home their first boy or girlfriend to embarrass the shit out of them. No, you are embarrassing them for free, to strangers, for likes, hearts, emojis, to people you have never met. You're turning their private life into a public commodity before they even know what private means. And once it's online, guess what? It never goes away. Their meltdown at 5, their messy first sleepover, their most awkward moments, all there, forever. Analytics track it better than memories ever could. From the moment of birth or shortly after, everything becomes content. Injuries, fears, school struggles, how you parent, even how you punish. Instead of comforting a child after a meltdown, you first set up the ring light, adjust the background, and maybe even encourage them to cry harder for the camera. Why? Because the more painful the thumbnail looks, the more clicks you get. It's simple. The parent should be there for the child when the child needs them, not the other way around. But when the parent needs the child, because the algorithm just dropped a new trend and we need content, something is deeply, painfully wrong. Think about it. If two adults were doing the same exact content and one of them didn't agree, we'd call it exploitation immediately. But if it's a child, suddenly it's family content or sharing our lives. Just look at the numbers. Engagement wins. When the ring light is brighter than the parents, it's a problem. The more you control the content, the more videos you produce, the more exposure you create, the more consequences the child has to face. Every upload is a permanent footprint on their life, not only yours. Bonding with your child does not mean filming another video. It means making memories, showing care, attention and love, not teaching them how to pose, fake smiles, or cry on cue for the algorithm. The camera doesn't nurture. Algorithms don't love. Only actual human connection does. More content does not show more love. It shows more of your private life. Care does not start with clicks. It starts with you. Let's be honest about one thing. The child is not the star of this show. You are. The kid is just a tool. And while you are chasing views, you're also dumping their data online for free. Names, habits, favorite things, daily routines, medical details, school information. You're building a public profile on someone who cannot protect themselves. They will be searchable. They will be recognizable. And yes, they will be exposed to darker things. All it takes is someone showing up with the right favorite toy, the right snack, the right story, pretending to be someone they're not, and suddenly they're a friend, not because the child was careless, but because you overshared. That can create excess, and the algorithm loves details. Predators do too. You didn't just post a video, you handed strangers a how-to manual on your child. If someone gives me free chocolate, I'm in. And the benefiting factor after, I won't be a virgin anymore. But hey, at least someone knows what I love. They can't opt out. They become the product. Here's my take. Let families just be families. Don't feel the need to share every second of your child's life. Don't show the world all of them. Blur their face, limit their exposure. Don't make them the visible star. You are. If your channel can't survive without putting your child on display, maybe you are the problem, not the child or how much of your child you are showing. Your kid is not content. They're human, and humans deserve privacy, love, and space to grow without an audience. The financial aspect of it. Here's the brutal reality. Parents often build entire channels around their child. Their personality, their trauma, sometimes even their disabilities. But ask yourself this: who really benefits? Not the kid, not the one living in the footage, crying on cue for being cute for clicks. funds, savings? Think again. Often, nothing is actually reserved for the child. The money goes straight into cars, vacations, or new gadgets, all to produce more content. The child, they might be thrown out of the house with nothing, because the brand matters more than the human. If your content relies on a child to generate revenue, remember, the child isn't an asset, they're a product, and a product rarely sees a paycheck. The ugly truth? In most countries, the earnings legally belong to the parents. The children? They do the work, every meltdown, every tantrum, every forced smile. Instead of just goofing around, playing or doing normal kid stuff, they're on schedule, following scripts, performing retakes, and behaving a certain way, all for content. A script is not playtime. It's like a training program, but instead of sports or music, it's trauma and attention metrics. The only thing the child achieves is a library of suffering. The parents collect the revenue, the kids collect the stress, exhaustion, and permanent digital footprint, the emotional and psychological exploitation. Kid is sick or distressed? No problem. Let's just call them a dickhead and film how we parent the shit out of it. Overstimulated even better. Dim the lights, some relaxing music, and let's do take number 14 of your meltdown. Bonus points if the kid is explaining nuclear math problems the way I love, while I silently calculate views per second of their suffering. Meltdowns aren't a private moment anymore. They're click-generating performances. The child isn't being comforted. They're being engineered for attention. And of course, the classical excuse, I'm providing for the family. This is our job now. Right. Forget the kid's childhood. Forget their privacy. Forget consent. The better you perform online, the better brand deals roll in. Maybe, just maybe, the kid might get something out of it. But let's be real. The kid isn't the employee. It's the product. And like any product, their labor pays someone else's bills first. Emotions? No problem. Just prescribe the newest medication from a boo child. Take this every once an hour, and suddenly the kid always does what you want. No tantrums, no resistance, just perfect algorithm-friendly compliance. Because why nurture feelings when you can engineer obedience? Happiness is scheduled and compliance is guaranteed. Imagine your livelihood depends entirely on what you post online with your child. Every paycheck, every brand deal, every sponsorship tied to views and engagement. Now imagine that engagement fluctuates. Views drop, likes plateau. Then guess what happens? The child has to do more. Sacrifice more privacy, and the content gets more extreme. Meltdowns, tantrums, embarrassing moments. They are engineered, amplified, and repeated to chase performance metrics instead of empathy. Privacy is the first casualty in the battle for engagement. The algorithm doesn't care who cries, who suffers, or who's exhausted. It only cares about watch time. And the parent? They become a content manager, pushing their child more and more every time the numbers drop. This is not a stock market. It is the life of a child. And of course, the classic line, the kids are always wanting to do this. They're never forced. Never. Right. Let's get real. If you don't have a job as an adult, you're unemployed. If you're a child, you're a fucking child. It's that simple. It should be that way. Childhood isn't a contract, a brand, or a performance metric. It's childhood. A time to play, learn, and grow without cameras, algorithms, or engagement stats. Anything else? That's exploitation. That's a failure of responsibility. Emotional and psychological exploitation. Showing yourself vulnerable, sharing intimate details. That's hard. We all done it. I know the consequences. I know why I share it. You know, we all know. But filming someone else, especially a child, crying, scared or angry, that's not an experience anymore. It's entertainment for others. Every meltdown, tantrum, or fear-filled moment becomes clickbait. The child's emotions are no longer private. They are performance metrics. Their pain is no longer comforted, it's an asset. Their tears are sponsored today by Hug Your Child, because you only do it for the clicks. Once the content starts getting attention, the performance becomes mandatory. How it's done doesn't matter anymore, as long as the child is involved. The care comes after the content, not before, to make this clear. Instead of parenting, comforting, or being present, the parent keeps the camera rolling. First, frame the meltdown, adjust the lights, pick the angle, capture the reaction. Only after the perfect shot comes care. It's upside-down parenting. The algorithm dictates priorities, not empathy. The child's emotions are no longer for their own growth, they are assets for views. And why stop at the kids? Let's talk about parents for a second. Instead of someone being there to support you when you call for help, you get run through endless processes. Forums, queues, automated menus, hold music, frustration, exhaustion. Only after you are drained, you finally get to speak to a human. Sound familiar? That's reality. Because parents, like kids, are trapped in a system that prioritizes procedure and performance over care. It mirrors the child's world online. Performance comes first, empathy comes later. Everyone's labor is monetized, monitored and optimized. Expect the one thing that matters: human connection. And here's the difference. Adults mostly know how to cope with emotions. We've got strategies. We process grief, frustration or embarrassment in ways that don't require a camera. A child, they cannot. When they are being filmed while emotional, they process it through the lens, not through care. Every meltdown, every tear, every tantrum is a performance metric. And if it's not good enough for the upload, retake again and again until the perfect video is created. The child doesn't just feel, they learn to perform feelings. Childhood becomes training for the algorithm, not a safe space for growth. Children get encouraged, exhausted and frustrated, just like any human being would in a high-pressure situation. But here's the catch, they cannot set boundaries like we do. You want to go to your room? Sure. Only if it's with the new GoPro 360, emotion monitor enabled. Every feeling locked, every meltdown recorded, every boundary ignored in the name of content. Negative emotions become more valuable than being a child. Suddenly, a kid is only interesting when they are distressed, scared or frustrated. Happiness, normal play, those aren't monetizable. Only suffering counts for the algorithm. They get confused, anxious, even when trying to express themselves. How can a child show real emotions when they don't know what will be recorded or how the parent will react? Nothing is private anymore. Every memory is locked, every meltdown, every fear, every frustration is captured. It's no longer a memory, it's an archive of shame and emotions, curated for strangers and the algorithm. Childhood isn't a safe space, it's a performance space, and the child is always on stage. Here's the hard truth. Children cannot consent. They cannot agree to be filmed or shared online. Consent is not optional, it's impossible for children. Do they even know if it's just for the channel members or for the entire world? Every meltdown, every tantrum, every vulnerable moment, uploaded, archived, public. When children perform their emotions, they begin to learn how to hide them, what they really feel. They mask their fear, their sadness, even their joy, because the algorithm rewards performance. This isn't just exploitation, it's dangerous. It teaches children that their feelings are only valuable when manipulated for attention, and that privacy and honesty are liabilities. Parasocial grooming and viewer feedback. Now we are getting into the parasocial side, the viewer as family phenomenon. The lines between privacy, real family content, and online persona are vanishing when every moment is shared, every meltdown posted, every cute or embarrassing thing uploaded. You start to feel like everyone online is part of the family. And of course you've got viewers calling themselves uncle or aunt by day 2. First day, school live stream, check. Suddenly, strangers feel like family. Shout out to Darkwing Duck 761 and Cock Collector 3000. Your support is? Well, it's just creepy as it sounds. Parasocial relationships are two-sided manipulation. The child doesn't understand boundaries. The audience feels intimacy and trust, and the parent monetizes both. Parasocial grooming, now a family tradition in 2026. The more content you post, the more involved the viewers become. Milestones are tracked online, grades, achievements, birthdays. They are compared to the audience's own expectations. Soon, the child is encouraged to read comments, respond to fans, and show gratitude. Thanks, you little bastard. I just showed your good grades to all 1,200 members on your only child's account. Be a bit more thankful for that. And let's not forget, every fan is someone who claims to love little kids. Somehow, that's supposed to be reassuring. Parasocial relationships aren't just harmless. They pressure the child to perform, share, and respond, creating a feedback loop of validation and exposure that benefits the parent and the audience, not the child. Grooming doesn't always start sexually. It starts with emotions, vulnerability, trust, a child sharing feelings, milestones, or fears. Online, that vulnerability is exploited. And here's the problem. You never know who is behind a username, who is watching your child, or what their intentions are. When someone out there is masturbating to a video from your child's first day of school, how would that feel? I don't think that's the happy ending anyone would wish for. The danger isn't obvious. It's hidden behind likes, comments, and emojis. Parasocial relationships blur lines between family, fans, and predators. For me, this is a huge red flag. Online, you never know who is behind a username, behind a comment, behind a view. Who is watching your child? What are they doing with that content? The problem? You never know. That uncertainty, that hidden danger, is the core of the risk, and it grows every time a vulnerable moment is shared. When you teach a child to perform, for videos, for attention, even for moments that should be intimate, is this really different from grooming? The line blurs, because now the child learns to showcase vulnerability for the camera, for likes, for strangers. And the risk isn't theoretical. The child becomes exposed to predators through social media, gaming platforms, live streams, direct messages. Every moment online, every performance recorded, is a potential entry point for exploitation. Performance today, grooming tomorrow, because today is almost over. It often starts subtly. Compliments, attention, emotional support, maybe even gifts. Family content shows routines, locations, schedules, combined with personal details. Every post, every video, every story adds pieces of the puzzle. Of course, it won't happen to us, you think. We monitor everything, only members get access, and only with level 3 we share locations. Here's the truth. The internet doesn't need full access to your child. You give it away yourself every time you post content. Every upload, every milestone, every meltdown, every routine. It's all public by design. So, what we talked about today, childhood, is not content. It's not performance, not a metric, and not a milestone. It becomes that when you are sharing everything online. Consent is impossible, boundaries are meaningless, privacy is extinct, parasocial family lurks in the comments. Likes, shares, and emojis become validation for strangers, while the child's real life is stolen, framed, and archived. And let's not kid ourselves. The money, the brand deals, the sponsorships, they rarely benefit the kid. But the parents, oh, they thrive. New cars, gadgets, a few extra clicks, all bought with childhood as a collateral damage. So here's the ugly truth. When the cameras stop rolling, the retakes end, the comments fade. What's left for the child? Memories of an audience, not a family. Performance over love, exposure over care. That's a horror show for me and not alive anymore. And with that, I will wrap up this episode. I thank you for listening. Hope to see you soon on my channel. Take care and have a wonderful day.